A very good afternoon to everyone. I am Shanawaz. I'm a corporate trainer at Fintu. And today's webinar will be all about decoding tax for non-residential Indians. And before beginning, let me introduce you to our company Fintu. So we are a fee-based wealth advisory firm. We are based in Mumbai. We provide end-to-end financial services to our clients like wealth management, financial planning, tax planning, and estate planning. We are also present in the robo-advisory field, where we have catered to the financial needs of our clients, not only in India, but also abroad. So today's webinar will be all about decoding tax for NRIs. So we all know that as a non-residential Indian, managing your taxes can be a complex and daunting task. Whether you are living abroad or earning income from your investments in India, understanding the tax laws and regulations can be overwhelming. And a speaker, CA Nikhil Sharma, will also provide practical tips and advice for optimizing your tax liabilities and avoiding common pitfalls. To introduce our speaker, Mr. Nikhil Sharma, he is a chartered accountant with a rich experience of 12 years in leadership roles, wealth management industry, and tax advisory. He heads a revenue department as Chief Revenue Officer, where he's heading a big team of expert financial advisors and private wealth managers. So, whether you are an NRI looking to invest in India or a returning NRI planning to settle back in India, this webinar will provide you with the essential information you need to navigate the tax landscape with confidence. So without wasting much time, let's start the webinar and decode tax for the NRIs together. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Shahnawaz, for my introductions. Thank you so much. And welcome to all of you. Thank you so much for participating for this session. Yes, so I'll take it forward from here. Thank you, Shahnawaz. So I'll share my screen as well. So in NRI's taxation, I'll try to cover a lot of things, which is, from practical point of view, it is very much relevant for you guys. So if you'll see, like what I prepared for you is something. 1 second. Yes, I think my screen is visible, right? Yes. So I have made some guidebook for NRIs where we are going to talk about a few practical aspects like what is NRI status. So first of all, being as an NRI, or if you are dealing with NRI, so you need to understand what is the NRI status, because this status itself has a red carpet kind of a thing in income tax and a lot of things which is relevant for you. So what is NRI status? Then the possible income source of the NRIs, कौन सी उनकी income source हो सकती है. Then once we identify the income which is taxable in India or not taxable in India, after identifying the possible income source of NRIs, we will discuss like what kind of deductions you are allowed and how you can make it tax efficient of your income. So we'll discuss about what is the deduction which is allowed, which is not allowed. Then, which is very practical, and I have seen a lot of query amongst NRIs when you are remitting money to India or remitting from India. So we'll discuss what you need to take care, what kind of document you require, what is repatriable money, what is not repatriable money in that case. Then if you are dealing with any NRIs, being as a resident, what you need to take care while doing payment to NRIs. Then what is DTAA, Double Taxation Avoidance Agreement, how it helps and what is the benefit of that. And as Shahnawaz said, if you are an NRI and you just settled in India a few years back, then again, we'll discuss like if you are returning NRIs, then what you need to take care of yourself. And at the end, what is the ITR filing advantage and why you need to file the ITR. So we'll start with the NRI status first. So NRI status, yes, this is the NRI status, which we need to understand what is NRI status, because the sound is very much clear like NRI, NRI, NRI. So when you will be NRI in terms of income tax. So a very basic thing, it is very technical, definition is there in income tax, but we'll try to make it very simple for you. So first of all, you need to understand this 182 days or more concept. So if you are a person who is staying in India for 182 days or more than 182 days, so you are simply become resident. You will not hold any kind of NRI status. So this 182 days is very much important and relevant for you to maintain your NRI status. Second condition is like if you stay in India for 60 days in last financial year and 365 days for the last 4 years. So this condition technically is not applicable a person who is an Indian citizen and working abroad on a salary. So if you are on employment basis on employment visa and if you are going outside India, then only first condition you need to take care, that is 182 days or more. Or if you are a crew member, you are working in a ship company, and if you are a crew member of Indian ship, then also only the first condition will be applied, second condition will not be applied. So seeing the audience and the response which we have, so I'll focus more on the 182 days wala condition, because the 60 days conditions technically is left for the person who is the businessman. So the person who is salaried working outside India, this 182 days condition is much relevant for them to identify the status of the resident. So अगर आप इंडिया में 6 महीने से ज्यादा है 182 डेज से ज्यादा रह रहे हैं, then your status will be resident, you will not be NRI. There are a lot of complications like resident तो हो गए but not ordinary resident है, या फिर complete NRI क्या होता है. I'll not go deep into it. I'll make it very simple. If you are not staying in India for 182 days, then your chances to become NRI is much higher rather than going deep into resident to ho gaya but not ordinary resident kya hota hai. We'll make it very simple. NRI, you should not stay in India for 182 days. Now amendment was there in 2020. You may still become resident if you are not staying, or you are staying less than 182 days. So what is that amendment? We need to understand that also. If you have a Indian income which is up to 12 which is 15 lakhs or more, if you have an Indian income, अगर आपके पास Indian source से कोई income आ रही है, and that Indian source of income of that particular financial year is 15 lakhs or more, then that 182 days condition will reduce to 120 days. इसका मतलब अगर आपके पास में Indian source of income है and the quantum of that Indian source of income is 15 lakhs, then you should try to avoid to stay in India less than 120 days. Then आपको 182 days नहीं 120 days का ध्यान रखना है. So that is a simple thing. And also one more classical amendment they have made it. They made it like deemed residency. So for example, if you are staying in a country like Gulf, like Dubai, where there is no tax in that country, then Indian government is saying that if you are staying in any country which is tax free country, there is no income tax as such, then also if your Indian income is more than 15 lakhs, and even if you are not coming to India for a single days, you will be deemed as a resident of India. So that residency is basically considered as a resident but not ordinary resident. But I don't want to make it confused. Then my simple advice to you is that if you are any the Gulf country or country like Dubai where there is no taxation, then you need to be extra cautious while planning your residency status, because you will not be straightforward NRIs. You will be resident but not ordinary resident. However, a lot of benefit will be carried forward with you as equal to NRIs, but you will not be straightforward NRIs in that case. So you have to plan accordingly. So what points we identify from NRI status is the first and foremost thing, like this NRI status is not permanent. You need to check this status on every 31st March. So Indian Income Tax Act के हिसाब से आपको हर फाइनेंशियल ईयर के एंड में, दैट इज 31st March 2000 whatever, like 23, 22, 24, you need to check whether you are NRI or not, and that condition we have already discussed, like 182 days or 120 days depending upon your Indian source of income. The second thing which I would like to highlight here, and which is very important for you, because that will solve a lot of the practical aspect. This NRI status as per income tax and as per banking terms is different definition. So for example, for Indian Income Tax Act, you will be resident if you are staying for 182 days. or 120 days as per the condition satisfied of your income. But in banking terms, you can be NRI from the day you left from India. Yes. So banking terms, FEMA NRI definition will be applied, and FEMA NRI definition is saying that if you have a job and if you have a work visa and you are leaving India, so from that day itself you become NRI. So from banking terms, you may become NRI from the day you left from India. But in Indian Income Tax Act terms, you will be NRI at the end of the financial year. And every year you need to check your status. So it is important because जब हम आगे discuss करेंगे about remittance, what account you should hold as a NRI like NRO or NRE account. So that confusion you can solve it, and you need to understand that if you are planning to go to outside India, if you have a job and you are leaving India, so you can go to the bank and you can show the work visa and everything, and you can take the NRI status as per the banking terms. It means you are allowed to open NRE account and you are allowed to open NRO account rather than normal saving account. So it helps you to manage your finances as well, because when you go outside India, so these two banking terms like NRE account and NRO account will become very powerful in terms of banking transaction. So NRIs के लिए जो red carpet है, that red carpet is that NRIs will be taxed only on the Indian incomes rather than normal resident like you and me. If I'm earning any income outside India, I have to pay tax in India because I'm a resident of India. But being as an NRI, you are only taxed, which is Indian source of income. We'll discuss like what is Indian source of income. But as of now, this thing you need to understand that if you hold NRI status, government will charge you tax only on the income which you earn from India, not outside India. Believe me, this is a good advantage for the NRIs. NRIs are allowed to opt a new regime and old regime. Yes, being as a resident, NRIs is also allowed to take care of which is beneficial for them, new regime or old regime. I'll just highlight the quickly like what is new regime tax rate and what is the old regime tax rate, and if you would like to choose like what should be the parameters. So the new tax regime, as you are aware, like government has increased the the slabs for the new tax regime. Earlier it starts from the 2.5 lakhs, but now it starts from the 3 lakhs. It is a simple chart, self-explanatory, like up to 3 lakhs, there is no taxation, then 3 to 6, 5%, then 6 to 9, 10%, then 9 to 12, 15%, 12 to 15, 20%, 15 lakhs and above 30%. And what is the old regime? Old regime, the rates are as usual, 2.5 lakhs, there is no taxation, then 2.5 to 5%, 5 to 10, 20%, 10 lakhs and above 30%. What is the benefit of the old tax regime and how you choose it? It is very simple. If you have a deductions to claim, then you should see like which is beneficial for you. If you do not have any deduction to claim, simply you should go for the new tax regime. If you have deduction, so deduction quantum will also define, and your income category will also define. When I'm saying income category, so Indian source of income, because as an NRI, you are only charged to tax only the Indian source of income. So if your Indian source of income is up to 6 lakh, you have a deduction of 50,000. So 7 lakh 50,000 ki income say you are getting benefit in new tax regime. Same like if you have a deduction of 1 lakh 50,000. So 10 lakhs ki income say you are charging, you are getting a good benefit in the new tax regime. If you have a deduction of, let's say 2 lakh 50,000, so more than 15 lakhs will be the same for you, and less than 15 lakhs, the old regime will be beneficial for you. So it is a simple chart, and very, very noise on this, like no tax up to 7 lakhs. I would like to remind on every NRIs that this 7 lakhs up to 7 lakhs, no tax will not be applicable to NRIs, because basic slabs are not increased by FM. Only the rebate has been given, which is up to 25,000, whose income is up to 7 lakhs. So this advantage is only for the resident, not for NRIs. For NRIs, you need to simply take care of your slab. So your slab is saying that up to 3 lakhs, there is no taxation. So is 7 lakhs ka jo no taxation hai, that is not applicable to NRIs. Now we need to see like what kind of income sources as an NRI you have. So I've just made a simple chart just to understand you, like income from salary. Yes, NRI may have income from salary, but as I explained you, if you are going outside India for employment, so your source income will be outside India. So there is no taxation for the NRI of that kind of a income. So you need not to worry, or you need not to plan from income tax point of view, Indian income tax point of view. If you are earning as a salary outside India, there is no taxation in India. You can declare that income as an exempt income while filing your income tax return. Now let us talk about income from brand. Suppose you are holding any asset in India, like a commercial property or a residential property. So you may receive a rent on that property. So that will be a source of Indian income, and it is taxable like a resident, normal resident. Income from business, I'll not go into deep because this is a very vast topic. I can't cover it in 20 or half an hour session. So income from business, if you have any question, you can ask in Q&A session. So I will answer in that case. But you need to understand that that taxation is very much depends whether your business is running from India or your business is running from outside India. But I'll give you a simple tip. If you are running a business outside India, then you need to check your residential status as per the definition. So definition is saying 182 days or 60 days. So अगर आप 60 दिन 60 days से कम इंडिया में है तो straight forward you are NRI in any terms, in business terms as well as in salary terms. So income from business, if you are running a business outside India and you are meeting the definition of NRI status, staying less than 60 days, then you are straightforward NRIs. There is no taxation as such. But in case you are running a business outside India, but you become resident, then it depends. Your income will be taxable if you are straightforward resident. If you are resident but not ordinary resident, again you will have some advantage of the NRIs, but not the full advantage. But that complication is there on the income from business. So we need to take care, and we need to be very much specific while doing that kind of dealing with that kind of a situation. Income from shares and mutual fund. Being as an NRI, you are allowed to invest in Indian market, Indian shares, Indian mutual fund, Indian security market. So that will also be considered as a source of income of India, and it is taxable. इनकम फ्रॉम सेल ऑफ हाउस प्रॉपर्टी, जिस प्रॉपर्टी से आपको रेंट आ रहा है उस प्रॉपर्टी को, या फिर कोई भी आइडल आपकी प्रॉपर्टी, हाउस प्रॉपर्टी या फिर मूवेबल प्रॉपर्टी आपकी इंडिया में है, लाइक गोल्ड एंड एवरीथिंग, इफ यू आर सेलिंग इट, it will be treated as an Indian source of income and it is taxable. Suppose, as I told you, like you can hold NRO account or NRE account. So if you are an NRI, you are holding an NRO account and you are doing any deposit, fixed deposit or recurring deposit. So that is also Indian source of income and it is taxable. Whereas if you are holding an NRE account and you are holding any FD into NRE account, source will be Indian source, like that will be Indian country income, but government has given the exemptions and NRE FD पे कोई tax आपको charge नहीं होता है. So NRE FDs are tax free FDs in India. So income from fixed deposit from NRE account is taxable. Income from fixed deposit NRO account is taxable. So tax free and taxable depending upon NRE status and NRO status in terms of banking. So as I told you, like I got a lot of queries on this, like I'm an NRI and I'm holding a normal saving account. What should I do? So income tax is nothing to deal with, NRO account or NRE account, to be very specific, except this FD provision. NRI status is depending upon how many days you stays in India. On that basis, if your source of income is India, you are being charged tax. But this FD is little bit exception into it. If you are holding FDs through NRE account, it is tax free. And there is a logic behind it, because this NRE account, you are not allowed to deposit any Indian money. So NRE के अंदर जो भी funding होगा आपका, आपके foreign account से funding होगा. You cannot deposit normal Indian rupees into NRE account. So that's why government has given the special status to NRE account, and whatever deposits you are making in this NRE account, it is still tax free. So there is no taxation. Again, very much important thing to understand about income from fixed income, from life insurance. If you have some life insurance where you have a fixed income or where you have a lump sum a maturity amount to come, so that will be sourced as an Indian income, but it is also not taxable. It is also exempt. Also, you are buying any life insurance company, be it term plan or be it any fixed income plan or be it any lump sum plan. I would like to highlight here as a NRI, if you pay through your NRE account or if you pay through your foreign account, जो जीएसटी टर्म प्लान के ऊपर चार्ज होता है दैट इज 18% एंड फिक्स्ड इनकम प्लान पर जो जीएसटी चार्ज होता है दैट इज 4.5%. इट इज completely free for you. So being as a NRI, if you are planning to buy a term plan or if you are planning to buy a fixed income through life insurance, your GST will be free if you are using your NRE account or if you are using your foreign account. And also the maturities will also tax free. There is no taxation as such. Any other income which is not falling here, if it is an Indian source of income, it will be tax free. And if you are giving any gift to your relative or you are taking any gift from your relative, so relative ki definition mein there is no taxation. There is important things to understand. In budget 2023 they have proposed कि ये जो fixed income from life insurance से जो भी maturities आती है that will be become taxable if you take any policy post March 2023. इसका मतलब अगर आपने कुछ भी ऐसा प्लान करना है fixed income through life insurance, जीएसटी चार्ज नहीं होगा, इनकम टैक्स आपको नहीं लगेगा अगर आपने ये पॉलिसी 1 अप्रैल 2023 31 मार्च 2023 से पहले लिए. 1 अप्रैल 2023 onwards it is become taxable. However, GST is still tax free, but income tax will be levied. So that you need to take care about your possible component of income versus taxation. So now we need to understand what kind of deductions are allowed for the NRIs. So first of all, I would like to highlight here is that deduction you need to plan as per your income. So for example, I'll touch first of all your income from rent. So whatever you are getting income from rent, that is Indian source of income. You are going to charge tax on Indian source of income. So rent is also chargeable as a Indian source of income. But you have some advantage on income from rent. So the very foremost advantage is standard deduction. This 30% standard deduction is straightforward allowed to you. Being as an NRI, you are allowed 30% standard deduction on your rental income. इसका मतलब अगर आपको 100 रुपए का रेंटल इनकम आ रहा है, only 70 rupees will be taxable. 30 rupees standard deduction government is giving you a normal wear tear maintenance of your housing property. So this is very great advantage. If you are getting 100 rupees rent, only 70 rupees will be taxable. You need not to give any kind of document or supporting document or any evidence to claim this 30% deduction. It is a standard deduction. It is allowed straightforward. Second thing, if you bought your house property, being as an NRI or being as a resident when you were there in India, if you bought that property on loan and you are paying any EMIs, and on your EMIs, any interest component, you are allowed to claim deduction of that interest. So in other words, I can say like that, if you are having a rental income, first of all, you have an advantage to claim 30% standard deduction. Then you have an advantage to claim whatever interest on your EMIs you are paying. It means your rental income can be nil, subject to your interest amount and subject to whatever quantum of loan you have taken. So that calculation you have to made it, but it is full interest is allowed up to your rental. Over and above that, you can claim 2 lakh rupees loss. So for example, you have a 2 lakh rupees of rental income and you are paying interest, let's say 4 lakh rupees. So 2 lakh rupees rental income, considering like this 2 lakh rupees is after standard deduction. So complete 2 lakh will be absorbed by the interest paid by you, that is 4 lakh. So completely 2 lakh of rental income will be tax free. Top of that, rest of 2 lakhs, because you are paying interest 4 lakhs. So the rest of 2 lakhs is allowed as a loss under this house property section. And that loss you can claim against any other source of income. So that any other source of income could be your fixed deposit interest as well. So mind my words, this 2 lakh rupees housing loan loss is a very good advantage. You should see it when you are filing your return or when you are seeing your rental income. So the rental income will be taxable only if you are not paying any interest. So that you need to take care, like how much interest you are paying and what is the EMI interest component, and accordingly this interest deduction will be allowed. So up to 2 lakh rupees loss also you can claim despite after adjusting your entire rental income. Also, sometimes I have seen like a lot of NRIs doing mistake, like they are holding a commercial property and they are not awareing about this provisions. So they are getting confused from this word like house property rental income. So this house property rental income is an income tax definition. In simple word, any rental income from any property you are getting, this standard deduction is still allowed to you. So even if you are having a commercial property, you are having a rent, you can claim this standard deduction in a very simple manner without giving any documentation. Also, on that commercial property, if you are paying any interest, you can claim the entire interest as a deduction up to 2 lakh rupees of loss. Just to understand this interest math, like the self-occupied, deemed let out property. So I've just made a very simple chart like that. This maximum loss of 2 lakh rupees is allowed. For example, if you are holding any self-occupied property which is not there on the rent, it means you are not getting any rent. You just hold a single house property which is allowed to you. In this house property, you are paying any interest. Then also you are allowed to claim that interest up to 2 lakh rupees. In other words, where you have a let out property, where you are getting rent. So first of all, entire interest is being adjusted against the rent. Post that, any interest which is unabsorbed, then also you can claim up to 2 lakh rupees as a loss under this section. So if you are a husband or wife, so what you can plan, you can take a joint loan. So this 2 lakh rupees limit, you can make it double. So 2 lakh rupees for the husband and 2 lakh rupees for the wife. So you can, make this happen like this 2 lakh, you can make this happen to 4 lakhs if you plan to take a loan in a joint name with your spouse. So that is again, you can make it 2 lakhs to 4 lakhs for this loss section. Then we need to understand about what kind of benefit you are getting if you have an income from shares or mutual fund. So first of all, you need to understand like if you are hold any shares, securities or mutual fund, so that taxation is long term or short term basis. So you have an advantage in long term side rather than short term side. So long term side, what kind of advantage you have? You have an advantage of 1 lakh rupees gain exempt in a year. So this is a big advantage if you are holding any securities or mutual fund. Every year you are getting 1 lakh rupees ka tax free long term capital gain if you redeem it. So capital gain is being charged when you redeem anything. So here what kind of advice or what kind of planning I'm giving to you is that, for example, if you are reviewing your portfolio on every year basis and you see like there is a notional profit in your portfolio, so you can plan like you can realize your notional profit into real profit up to 1 lakh rupees. There will be no taxation, and again you can reinvest that into the same scheme or other scheme which is more beneficial for that from that point of view. But what kind of advantage you will get? Every year you are realizing your 1 lakh rupees ka capital gain, which is tax free, because over and above this 1 lakh you are being charged at the rate of 10%. So for example, you have a notional profit of 3 lakh rupees, and last 3 years you have not booked anything. So in this year you realize your entire 3 lakhs. So in this year you will get only 1 lakh rupees ka tax free advantage. So rest 2 lakh will be charged at the rate of 10%. Whereas if you have planned in such way, in last 3 years, every year if you realize 1 lakh rupees, so technically 3 lakhs you realized in single year, and in other way you realize in every 1 lakh rupees every year. So if you realize every year 1 lakh rupees, there will be no taxation because you are utilizing this 1 lakh rupees ka limit every year. But if you realized 3 lakhs in a single shot, again you are allowed only 1 lakh rupees in a year. So that 1 lakh rupees ka jo tax exemptions hai, that you can utilize it every year. You can plan accordingly. Also, apart from this long-term capital gain on shares, if you have any long-term capital gain which is not being charged 10% rate, which is being charged 20% rate. Let's say if you are holding a gold, or if you are holding a house property, if you are holding a commercial house property, commercial property. So in that case also, if you are holding till long-term capital gain, so as an NRI, you are also allowed to take the indexation benefit. So indexation benefit is the benefit which is being give you the cost effectiveness basis on the inflation rate in India. So every year government is announcing the index index table. So on the basis of that index table, you can take the benefit of the indexation, which is not related to shares or securities, which is related to apart from shares and securities long term capital gain. That will be gold, that will be commercial property, that will be housing property. So yes, income from shares, mutual fund, or any other capital gain, you have an advantage on the tax side. So tax side, what kind of advantage you have? Tax side, you have an advantage like your tax rate will be lesser than slab rate. So it will be 10% or 20% depending upon what kind of capital gain you are holding. And in case of short-term capital gain and STT paid, so tax rate will be 15%. So यहाँ पे हमें टैक्स का एक एडवांटेज है कि टैक्स की जो रेट है हमारी स्पेशल हो जाती है. That will not be the normal tax rate which is there on the slab side. So income from sale of housing property, यहाँ पे हमारे पास में क्या advantage है? You can you can invest into bonds and you can save your capital gain which is arising from sale of housing property. So 50 lakh rupees तक का capital gain अगर आप bonds में invest करते हैं, there are specified bonds, नाहाई, REC, अभी रेलवे और पावर के और कुछ बॉन्ड निकले. अगर आप इन बॉन्ड में इन्वेस्ट करते हैं, आपने अगर कोई प्रॉपर्टी सेल की है, उस प्रॉपर्टी का जो गेन है अगर आप 50 लाख रुपए तक इन बॉन्ड में इन्वेस्ट करते हैं तो देयर इज नो टैक्सेशन. एंड सेकंड, एग्जेम्पशन इज आल्सो अलाउड इफ यू बाय अनदर हाउस प्रॉपर्टी. सो आपका पूरा का पूरा कैपिटल गेन सेव हो सकता है. इसके अलावा कुछ जनरल डिडक्शंस है व्हिच यू कैन प्लान इट. दैट जनरल डिडक्शन इज सब्जेक्ट टू व्हिच रिजीम यू आर चूजिंग, ओल्ड रिजीम और न्यू रिजीम. अगर न्यू रिजीम चूज कर रहे हैं तो दिस इज इररिलेवेंट. अगर ओल्ड रिजीम में है तो दिस इज वेरी मच रेलेवेंट. So first of all, you need to see like आपने इस साल ऐसे कोई expenses किए हैं क्या? If you have made any kind of expenses, for example, if you are having a house on EMIs, तो उस EMI में जो principal component है वो आपको ATC में कहीं ना कहीं 1,50,000 तक का benefit लेने के लिए आपको help करेगा. That kind of expenses will help you to get 1,50,000 का rebate under section ATC. If you have a children in India and you are paying tuition fees, तो ये एक्सपेंसेस भी आपको एटीसी में फॉल करता है. 1,50,000 का बेनिफिट यू कैन क्लेम इट. इफ यू बॉट एनी हाउस प्रॉपर्टी, आपने स्टैम्प ड्यूटी रजिस्ट्रेशन पे किया है, अगेन यू आर गेटिंग अ बेनिफिट ऑफ दिस एक्सपेंसेस अंडर सेक्शन 80C. If you have made any term plan, you have taken any term plan, again that expenses is allowed under section 80C. So first of all, you need to see if you incurred any kind of this expenses, you can claim under section 80C of all these expenses. Then second, you need to see like what kind of investment you made it to save your taxation. So I have divided into two parts. One is market link investment. Second is debt investment. So market link investment में अगर आप ऐसे म्यूचुअल फंड which is called ELSS 3 लॉक इन होते हैं, इनमें अगर आप इन्वेस्टमेंट करते हो तो आपको ATC के अंदर 1,50,000 तक का डिडक्शन मिलता है. If you buy any ULIP, again you are getting a benefit under section 80C. Debt instrument के अंदर any life insurance policy, any term plan, any endowment plan if you are buying, you are allowed to get ATC benefit. PPF, post office, NSC, senior citizen saving scheme is not allowed for NRIs. I am again repeating, if you are an NRI, you are not allowed to take ATC advantage. First of all, being as an NRI, you are not allowed to open PPF account. If you are holding a PPF account when you are resident, that is fine. You can maintain the status, but you can't open a new account. So PPF, post office, NSC, senior citizen saving scheme is not allowed as a deduction under section 80C. Medical expenses, yes. If you have taken any medical insurance plan in India, you can claim the deduction up to 50,000. आप अपने लिए, बच्चों के लिए और अपने स्पाउस के लिए 25,000 तक का प्रीमियम पे कर सकते हैं. अपने पेरेंट्स के लिए भी आप 25,000 तक का प्रीमियम पे कर सकते हैं. For NRI, if 25,000 for parents is 50,000, but for NRIs it is only restricted up to 25,000. But एक अच्छा advantage यहाँ पे NRIs के लिए ये है. For example, if you are not holding any medical things in India and your age is more than 60, so being as a senior citizen, if you are incurring any expenses, medical expenses up to 50,000 and you are not holding any health policy in India, you can claim this 50,000 under this section as a deduction. That section is 80D. Under section 80D, you are allowed to take 50,000 medical expenditure अगर आपके पास में कोई हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस पॉलिसी नहीं है तो आप 50,000 का मेडिकल एक्सपेंडिचर कर रहे हैं, यू आर अलाउड टू टेक द बेनिफिट अंडर दिस सेक्शन. ऑल्सो अगर आपका मेडिकल इंश्योरेंस प्रीमियम 25,000 का प्रीमियम कवर नहीं कर रहा है, ये इसमें जो मैक्सिमम बेनिफिट है 25,000. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इफ यू आर पेइंग अ मेडिकल इंश्योरेंस प्रीमियम ऑफ 18,000, then 25,000 ka limit is not fully exhausted. Then also one more advantage you have, you can, if on any visit of your India, if you are doing health checkup, so that 5,000 rupees tak ka amount of preventive health checkup you can claim under this section. So for example, 18,000 ka premium, 5,000 ka health checkup, 23,000 you can claim again. So 5,000 का लिमिट है हेल्थ चेकअप के ऊपर, जो आपकी 25,000 की लिमिट के अंदर ही इनबिल्ट है. सो अगर आपका प्रीमियम इज अप टू 20,000, तो ये 5,000 रुपए आप प्रिवेंटिव हेल्थ चेकअप के थ्रू यू कैन यूटिलाइज इट. सो यू कैन फुल्ली एग्जॉस्ट, यू कैन गेट फुल्ली एग्जॉस्ट ऑफ 25,000 ऑफ मेडिकल इंश्योरेंस प्रीमियम वाला लिमिट. So that also you need to take care. Then some expenses like interest on education loan. If you have taken any education loan, ये अनलिमिटेड अमाउंट जो मैंने यहाँ पे लिखा है, दैट इज वेरी रेयर इन इंडिया एज ऑफ नाउ. इंडियन इनकम टैक्स में अनलिमिटेड वर्ड को स्क्वीज किया जा रहा है. Income tax is very much focused that they don't want to give that unlimited kind of amount benefit for from here onwards. But still, this section 80E education loan, it is allowed unlimited amount of interest. Whatever you are paying on education loan, it is allowed as a deduction against your income. So section is very open. It is allowed to yourself, spouse and children for higher education. You have to take a loan from bank or approved FIIs. For 8 years. For 8 years, you can claim unlimited amount of interest under this section. If you are doing any charities in India, section 80G, you need to remember you are allowed to claim a benefit under this section. आपने किसी भी NGOs को कोई भी donation दिया है, that is allowable deduction for you. You need to take care of NGO का ETG certificate. You need to take care of NGO का PAN and complete address. Basically, all this information is there on the donation slip itself. But you need to take care all this information is there or not. Now, what deduction is not allowed? So I make it very simple. If you are spending, and so income tax in India, they have given some special tax benefit for the medical treatment and medical disability. But unfortunately for NRI, this medical treatment and medical disability sections benefit is not allowed to NRIs as a deduction. So these two deductions you will not be allowed. Now we'll touch up very practical things which I have received a lot of queries on the remittance. So first of all, I would like to highlight on what kind of accounts are there. So being as a NRI, in banking terms, being as a NRI, you have to hold NRO account or NRE account, that is Indian account. And also in any respective country where you are, you can open your foreign account. So that foreign account is one account or two account, whatever account you would like to maintain it. But in India, you should have NRO and NRE account. And this NRO or NRI account is as per the FEMA definition, as per banking terms, not as per Indian Income Tax Act. Indian Income Tax Act, there is an NRI status. FEMA regulation point of view, there is an NRO or NRA account you need to hold as per the FEMA definition of NRI. जो मैंने आपको बताया, being as a work, if you are going outside India as an employment, very first day you can become NRI and you can opt NRE account and NRO account in your banking terms. All right. So now you need to understand, like if you are doing remittance to India, for example, you are outside India, you have a foreign account outside India and you are remitting that money from your foreign account to NRO account. Then what is the treatment? First of all, there is no taxation of that kind of a transaction because you are sending from your one account to another account. So there is no taxation. Also, if you are sending money from your foreign account to your relatives, for example, your family is staying in India and you are transferring, to your NRO account or their normal resident saving account, there is no taxation as such. You are allowed to do that kind of a transaction. What you need to take care, whatever you are sending money to your NRO account, that has to be spent in India. अगर आपको वापस इंडिया से बाहर मंगाना है तो there is a restriction on the repatriation. So that money is not repatriable. You have to, do a lot of exercise to make it repatriate from India to outside India again. So again, mind my words, whatever you are sending from your foreign account to NRO account, or whatever you are sending from your foreign account to your relative's account, that money has to be spent there. So that end use is spending. You are sending that money for your family take care and spending. So that repatriation, अगर आपको वापस वो पैसा मंगाना है, तो there will be a very much hurdle and very much challenges. The other thing which you can use for the repatriation purpose is your NRE account. Whatever money from your foreign account to your NRA account you are sending, that money you can use for investment like mutual fund, fixed deposit, FD, insurance, anything you can use it. And that money is repatriable. You can easily repatriate that money from your NRE account to your foreign account. That's why I told you this two account is very much important from banking point of view. NRO account is the money, is the account for normal spending in India, and also in NRO account, what kind of money you can deposit. Okay. So apart from sending money from foreign account to NRO account you can use it for Indian source of income. For example, you are holding a house, you are getting a rent. So in which account you should get a rent? You should get a rent in NRO account, which is normal Indian source of money you are getting into it. In NRE account, you cannot have any Indian money deposit into it. In NRE account, fund can be transferred only from the foreign account. That's why it has a special status on the fixed deposit. I told you like fixed deposit is tax free. NRE account से अगर आपको insurance buy करते हो तो उस पर GST भी charge नहीं होता है. So that is the special advantage is given to the NRE account just because of the nature, because you are remitting money into NRE account from your foreign account, and that money is purely repatriable. You can easily repatriate that money. Now we need to understand remittance from India. So remittance from India, you need to take care 2-3 things. And in this budget, after this budget, like what they have announced, you have to be extra cautious into it. So first of all, your NRO account to foreign account or NRE account, whatever money you need to transfer from your NRO account to your foreign account or NRO account to your NRE account. It means you are sending money from India to outside India. In that case, we need to check because the repatriation hurdle is there only. NRO account से जब भी पैसा भेजना होगा, hurdles will be there. Bank will ask you a lot of questions. You have to prove your source of income. You have to prove that that source of income is being charged, being taxed. You have to prove that 15 CA, CB, whatever the rules is applicable. You have to complete. You have to give all the complete set of document to transfer that money. However, there is a LRS scheme, liberalized remittance scheme, where the bank is not asking a much question, but that scheme is for resident. That scheme is not for non-resident. You need to take care of that part. But I advise here is that in NRO account, you should keep only Indian money. For example, you are having a fixed deposit. For example, you are having any housing property rental. For example, if you sold any house property and you are having a the sales consideration into it, that money you should keep it into NRO account because that money belongs to India. So that money belongs to India. When you need to send it to outside India for any the use purpose, then you should reach out to any expert, any chartered accountant. They will help you like what is the formalities that they need to do it with the banking terms. They will help you out and you can repatriate it. But don't send any money, any spare money to your NRO account just to block it for the repatriation point of view. Always use your NRE account for the investment in India if the source of income is outside India. For example, if you are earning outside India, you would like to invest in India, you remit money into NRE account and invest through NRE account. That is the safest mode to avoid any circumstances. Now, I would like to highlight the most important thing which is there in the budget, which has a deep pocket. So budget 2023 has proposed any money you are remitting from India to outside India, they will charge TCS of 20%. It is a big amount. This TCS is not like that you are being charged tax, but TCS is something a kind of advanced tax which is being charged by the bank and deposited it to your income tax account. So जब आप अपना रिटर्न फाइल करेंगे तो एक क्रेडिट आप क्लेम कर सकते हैं, बट 20% चंक आपका यहाँ पे ब्लॉक हो जाएगा. एंड ये प्रोविजन अप्लाई हो रहा है 1 जुलाई 2023 से. पहले भी ये प्रोविजन था बट टीसीएस का अमाउंट वाज 5% ओनली, बट नाउ इट इज 20%. तो गवर्नमेंट का एम एकदम क्लियर है, एनी इंडियन मनी जो फॉरेन में कन्वर्ट हो रही है, फॉरेन रेमिटेंस में जा रही है, bank would like to charge a huge TCS just to avoid, first of all, just to avoid any unwanted money to go outside India, and second, just to recheck it in your income tax return, how you are showing that income, whether it is proper or not, and you can claim refund if it is not being charged to you. So that you need to aware about it if you would like to plan anything as a foreign remittance outside India. Before 1st July 2023, you should plan it. You will get it resolved it in 5% TCS only. Otherwise, 20% TCS will be charged. Now, if you are dealing with any NRIs, for example, you are staying on rent, being as a resident, normal resident, and you are paying rent to NRIs. So आपका जो घर का जो ओनर है, अगर वो नॉन रेजिडेंट स्टेटस होल्ड करता है, तो ये ऑब्लिगेशन गवर्नमेंट ने आप पे डाला है कि अगर आप एनआरआई से डील कर रहे हैं तो उनके पेमेंट्स पे आपको कुछ टीडीएस की कंप्लाइंस करनी है. सो फर्स्ट इसमें है पेमेंट टू रेंट. अगर आप कोई भी ऐसा रेंट पे किसी एनआरआई को कर रहे हैं, उस पर आपको टीडीएस डिडक्ट करना है 30%. यूजुअली अगर आपका ऑनर रेजिडेंट है तो आपको 50,000 रुपीज के मंथली रेंट के ऊपर 5% का टीडीएस डिडक्ट करना होता है, और वो कंप्लाइंस आप साल में एक बार कर सकते हैं. But here, if your owner is non-resident, then you have to deduct TDS at the rate 30%, and that should be on the monthly basis. So there is a hell kind of compliance here. You have to file quarterly TDS return as well. So if you are dealing any payment to NRIs, being as a rent, you need to be extra cautious. You have to do a lot of compliance into it. आपको 30% का TDS उनका डिडक्ट करना पड़ेगा, और आपको मंथली डिडक्शन करना पड़ेगा. आपको क्वार्टरली टीडीएस के अलग से रिटर्न फाइल करने पड़ेंगे, विच इज सेपरेट फ्रॉम योर इनकम टैक्स फाइलिंग. Second, if you are dealing with any NRIs on the buying and selling of the property. So for example, if you are buying a property from the NRI, in that case also you have to pay TDS on 20%. Mind my words, you have to pay TDS at the rate 20%. यहाँ पे 1% जो TDS अभी property transaction पे चल रहा है, that will not be applied. That is only from resident to resident transaction. If you are buying any property from NRI, you are going to make a payment to NRIs for buying a property. You have to deduct TDS at the rate of 20%. And ये जो मैंने 20% के आगे प्लस प्लस लिखा है, ये रेट और इंक्रीज होगी. 20% में सरचार्ज ऐड होगा, 20% में हायर एजुकेशन और सीनियर हायर एजुकेशन सेस ऐड होंगे. So a plus plus rate may go up to 22, 23, 24 depending upon the highest rate. So what kind of advice I would like to give here, if you are dealing with any NRI, being as a payment to the rent or being as a payment for buying a housing property, you should advise to NRIs, or I'm also advising to NRIs if they are listening, you should go for the lower deduction certificate. That facility is available in income tax department. So that is the general provisions for the NRIs, that TDS पे आपको 30% डिडक्ट करना है, 20% प्रॉपर्टी पे डिडक्ट करना है. बट NRIs के लिए उन्होंने एक स्पेशल फैसिलिटीज दे रखी है. इफ NRIs अप्रोच टू द इनकम टैक्स ऑफिसर फॉर लोअर डिडक्शन, वो इनकम टैक्स ऑफिसर वो पूरा ट्रांजेक्शन वेरीफाई करेगा, वो पूरा ट्रांजेक्शन देखेगा. उसके बाद में ऑफिसर आपको एक लोअर डिडक्शन अलॉट कर सकता है ऑन ऑफिशियल पेपर. वो आपको एक लेटर इशू करेगा जिसपे वो आपको एक रेट स्पेशल लिख के देगा कि इस ट्रांजेक्शन के लिए यू आर अलाउड फॉर दैट काइंड ऑफ टीडीएस. दैट पेपर यू कैन शो इट टू योर अदर पार्टी. वो उस पेपर के हिसाब से रेट डिडक्ट करेंगे. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अगर आपने किसी से कोई प्रॉपर्टी बाय की है, आप फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर आप एनआरआई और आपसे कोई नॉर्मल रेजिडेंट प्रॉपर्टी बाय कर रहा है, तो अगर आप एक लोअर डिडक्शन उनको लाके देते हैं और लोअर डिडक्शन में लेट्स से रेट आया 1% और 1.5% और 2%, सो दैट पेपर यू कैन शो इट टू योर रेजिडेंट बायर. वो आपका टीडीएस उसी रेट से डिडक्ट करेगा जो उस पेपर पे लिखा है. देन दिस 20% का जनरल प्रोविजन विल नॉट बी अप्लाई. सो 20% विल बी ए ह्यूज चंक. आपको ये 20% जो टीडीएस है ब्लॉक हो जाता है, फिर आपको रिटर्न फाइल करना पड़ता है, फिर रिफंड क्लेम करना पड़ता है. उन सबसे अगर आपको दूर जाना है तो यू कैन गो फॉर द लोअर डिडक्शन, and you can opt a lower deduction certificate from the income tax just to avoid and blocking your working capital over there. Then there is the double taxation avoidance agreement. That is also you need to understand, being as a NRI, it is again a good advantage for you, because in NRIs what usually happen, इस example से भी I have tried to make it very simple. फॉर एग्जाम्पल इफ यू आर स्टेइंग इन यूएसए, सो यूएसए का टैक्सेशन प्रोविजन है कि यूएसए विल बी चार्ज टू द ग्लोबल इनकम टैक्सेशन. So if you are staying in USA and you have FDs in India, so FD जो इंडिया में है वो इंडियन सोर्स ऑफ इनकम हुआ, आप पे इंडिया टैक्स चार्ज करेगा, बट यूएस विल आल्सो चार्ज द टैक्स ऑन द इंडियन एफडीज, बिकॉज ये यूएस का टैक्स लॉ बोलता है कि यूएस विल चार्ज टैक्स टू द ग्लोबल इनकम. तो अब आपको इंडियन एफडीज के ऊपर यूएस में भी टैक्स लग रहा है, इंडियन एफडीज के ऊपर इंडिया में भी टैक्स लग रहा है. जस्ट टू अवॉइड दैट सिचुएशन, जस्ट टू अवॉइड दैट हार्डशिप, एनआरआईज आर अलाउड टू क्लेम इंडिया में जो आपने यूएस में जो आपने टैक्स पे किया है, जब आप इंडिया में उसको क्लेम करोगे तो डबल टैक्सेशन अवॉइडेंस एग्रीमेंट के सेक्शंस है, उस सेक्शंस के अंदर आप यूएस में जो आपने टैक्स पे किया है यू कैन शो इट एंड यू कैन क्लेम इट इन इंडिया. सो आपका जो डबल टैक्स है वो नहीं लगेगा. Second advantage of double taxation avoidance agreement is there are some special rates on some certain income. So that is a very big list. बट मैं आपको इसमें बता सकता हूँ अलग अलग कंट्रीज के साथ में गवर्नमेंट ने अलग अलग एग्रीमेंट साइन कर रखे हैं. सो ऑन इंटरेस्ट, ऑन डिविडेंड्स, ऑन रॉयल्टीज, गवर्नमेंट हैज डिफाइंड different baskets, and there are special rates in double taxation avoidance agreement. So what advantage being NRI you have? You can choose कि डबल टैक्सेशन अवॉइडेंस एग्रीमेंट में जो रेट लिखी हुई है और जो नॉर्मल इनकम टैक्स एक्ट में जो रेट लिखी हुई है, जहां पे आपको ज्यादा बेनिफिट है, यू कैन गो एंड यू कैन ग्रैब दैट बेनिफिट, यू कैन चूज योर टैक्स रेट अकॉर्डिंगली. So that is again a good advantage. बजट 2021 में एक अच्छा एडवांटेज यहाँ पे आया था, एंड डीटीडब्ल्यूए से ये थोड़ा कॉम्प्लिकेशंस ना हो इसके लिए मैं इसको सिंपल करूंगा. यूजुअली आपको डबल टैक्सेशन अवॉइडेंस का बेनिफिट कब मिलेगा? जब यूएस में आपने जो टैक्स पे किया, आप इंडिया में आके बोलेंगे कि मैंने यूएस में भी टैक्स पे किया, इंडिया में भी टैक्स चार्ज हो रहा है, एंड गवर्नमेंट जो है वो ट्रीटी, जो डबल टैक्सेशन अवॉइडेंस एग्रीमेंट की ट्रीटी है, उसके हिसाब से आपको क्रेडिट दे देगी. बट समटाइम्स व्हाट हैपेंड, और ये बहुत प्रैक्टिकल क्वेरी है, बहुत सारे एनआरआई जो इंडिया में आए हैं वो इससे फेस कर रहे होंगे. व्हाट हैपेंस यूजुअली कि कभी कभी कंट्रीज में टैक्स चार्ज करने का मैकेनिज्म डिफरेंट होता है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, कभी कभी आपको मेच्योरिटी पे टैक्स लगता है, कभी कभी आपको अक्रूवल बेसिस पे टैक्स लगता है. व्हाट इज अक्रूवल बेसिस पे टैक्स? कि आपने आज फिक्स डिपॉजिट में पैसा रखा, आप हर दिन उसके अंदर इंटरेस्ट अर्न कर रहे हैं. सो एवरी ईयर, एवरी डे जो आपका इंटरेस्ट अर्न हो रहा है वो एवरी डे आपको मिल नहीं रहा है, आपके एफडी अकाउंट के अंदर अक्रू होता जा रहा है. उसकी मैच्योरिटी में भी 3 ईयर, 4 ईयर, 5 ईयर, 6 ईयर डाउन द लाइन हो सकती है, बट एवरी ईयर इंटरेस्ट इज अक्रूइंग. सो एफडी पे जो इंटरेस्ट है वो अक्रूवल बेसिस पे चार्ज होता है, वो जब मैच्योर होगी तब मैच्योरिटी इज डिफरेंट, बट एवरी डे इट इज बीइंग चार्ज. बट सम कंट्रीज आर चार्जिंग दैट काइंड ऑफ इनकम ऑन विड्रॉवल बेसिस. सो उस केस में क्या आता है कि इंडिया बोलता है कि आई विल चार्ज टैक्सेशन ऑन अक्रूवल बेसिस, यू हैव टू पे टैक्स ऑन मी. आपकी जो दूसरी कंट्री है वो ये बोलती है कि हम तो अभी चार्ज ही नहीं कर रहे हैं टैक्स, हम आपको विड्रॉल बेसिस पे चार्ज करेंगे. सो यहाँ पे अलग अलग सालों में आपको दो जगह टैक्स देने पड़ते हैं सेम इनकम पे. इंडिया ने अक्रूवल बेसिस पे पहले टैक्स ले लिया, मैच्योरिटी पे उस कंट्री ने आपसे टैक्स लिया. इस केस में डबल टैक्सेशन अवॉइडेंस एग्रीमेंट होने के बाद में भी एनआरआईज आर स्ट्रगलिंग लॉट ऑफ टैक्सेशन विच इज डबल टैक्सेशन. सो इस चीज को गवर्नमेंट ने एक रिलीज किया है कि दे विल ट्राई टू मैच इट द सोर्स कंट्री, जहां से आपको उस कंट्री में, फॉर एग्जांपल, यू आर चार्जिंग ऑन द एक्रूवल बेसिस, नॉट ऑन द एक्रूवल बेसिस, ऑन द विड्रॉल बेसिस. सो द सेम इनकम यू कैन ऑफर इन इंडिया ऑन द विड्रॉल बेसिस, सो दैट वो सेम ईयर में दोनों का डबल टैक्सेशन आएगा, और डीटीडब्ल्यूए ट्रीटी के अकॉर्डिंगली यू कैन क्लेम द क्रेडिट इन ईच अदर कंट्रीज, so you can avoid this dispute and this settlement. So in last year only they have defined this budget, and इसका जो बेनिफिट है वो फॉरेन रिटायरमेंट अकाउंट्स में बहुत सारे एनआरआईज हैं जो बाहर जॉब करते हैं, जब वो इंडिया में आते हैं तो वो सारा एसेट इंडिया में मूव नहीं करते हैं, एंड लॉट ऑफ मनी इज बीइंग पार्ट टू द फॉरेन रिटायरमेंट अकाउंट, एंड फॉरेन रिटायरमेंट अकाउंट इज यूजुअली चार्ज ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ विड्रॉवल, नॉट ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ अक्रूवल. सो जब वो विड्रॉ करेंगे तब उसके ऊपर टैक्स आएगा. सो दैट विड्रॉवल टैक्सेबिलिटी को जो है उन्होंने ये जो टाइम गैप है इसको उन्होंने ब्रिज करने की कोशिश की इन लास्ट बजट, and it is a very welcome amendment for the NRIs, so that they can really claim the DTAA advantage. Now coming back to returning NRIs, what they need to take care. So returning NRIs को usually first 2 years के लिए assume किया जाता है resident तो हो गए, but not ordinary resident, because वो आप और मेरे जैसे normal resident नहीं है, वो एक ऐसे resident है जो काफी सालों से NRIs थे और अब इंडिया में आए. मैं इसको एकदम सिंपल प्रोविजन करके आपको बता रहा हूँ, इसके कॉम्प्लिकेशंस पे नहीं लेके जा रहा हूँ. So if you are a returning NRIs, you might be holding resident but not ordinary resident. So our NORS status will also have some advantage which is similar to NRIs. So इसमें आप जो है you can continue to enjoy your exemptions which is available to NRIs for the 2 years. आपकी कोई भी deposit foreign currency में है, it is still exempt as at par as NRI it is, and for 2 years. After 2 years तो आपके पास 2 साल का टाइम है. 2 साल के बाद में वो सारी की सारी जितनी भी आपकी होल्डिंग्स है उस पर नॉर्मल रेजिडेंट की तरह आपको टैक्स लगना चालू हो जाएगा. सो इफ यू आर सॉरी if you are a returning NRI, you need to take care of these things, that you have a time of 2 years to settle your foreign currency, which you can take the advantage for the 2 years. So after 2 years, it will be as equivalent to as a normal resident. ITR filings, I'll suggest, we have seen like a lot of complications like TCS. If you send money, if you are dealing with NRIs, you have to deduct TDS at the rate of 30% in terms of rent, at the rate of 20% in case of selling of house property. अगर ऐसा कोई भी TDS TCS आपका किसी नॉर्मल रेजिडेंट ने डिडक्ट कर लिया है, यूजुअली आपका टैक्स उतना बनता नहीं है, तो टू क्लेम दैट रिफंड ऑब्वियसली यू हैव टू फाइल योर इनकम टैक्स रिटर्न. Second thing, if you have some losses in your shares and you would like to set off for the next year, तो आपको टाइम से रिटर्न फाइल करना इंडिया में जरूरी है. थर्ड, अगर आपका इनकम ही बेसिक स्लैब से ऊपर है, दैट इज 2.5 और 3 lakhs, तो आपका ऑब्लिगेशन है कि आपको रिटर्न फाइल करना है. इसके अलावा आई विल सजेस्ट, इफ यू आर अर्निंग आउटसाइड इंडिया, आपकी सैलरी इनकम है जो इंडिया में बिल्कुल भी टैक्सेबल नहीं होती है, दिस इज द राइट प्लेटफॉर्म टू डिक्लेयर दैट एंटायर इनकम विच इज टैक्स फ्री. सो आप इंडियन इनकम टैक्स में एक टैक्स फ्री इनकम से एक अच्छी खासी वेल्थ बना रहे हैं. आप इंडियन इनकम टैक्स को बता रहे हैं मेरे पास इतनी अर्निंग सोर्स है आउटसाइड इंडिया. सो उसका एडवांटेज क्या होता है, आप उस सोर्स ऑफ इनकम तक कुछ भी इंडिया में बाय करते हैं तो गवर्नमेंट के पास में उसका एक्सप्लेनेशन है कि यू हैव अर्न इट ड्यूरिंग योर NRI पीरियड, सो दैट विल नॉट बी अ हर्डल फॉर यू, एंड उसका टैक्सेशन पे कोई इम्पैक्ट नहीं आता है. सो ITR फाइलिंग इज वेरी गुड कंपोनेंट टू डिक्लेयर ऑल योर NRIs थिंग in a very detailed manner or in a very structured manner, so that you can claim your losses, you can claim your refund, you can declare your exempt income, so that आगे चल के फ्यूचर में कभी आपको कोई सोर्स ऑफ इनकम के बारे में पूछे तो you can show it like that money you have earned during your NRI tenure. So that is from my side on the NRI things. I hope I have taken time which is qualified for me more than that. But NRIs के अंदर, believe me, there are a lot of things which is there which I have just covered it. If you have anything, you can ask me a question. I can cover it in a one-on-one query basis, because income tax is a very vast the act, and the sections are very complicated. So my point is that I just would like to give you a glimpse of it so that you are aware about it. क्या ऐसा कुछ होता है, and you can ask to your expert and they will obviously guide you. So over to you, Shanawaz. We can take some questions over here now.
So, there are a few questions and there are a lot of common queries, so I just combine them all. So, sir, the first question is, Mr. Sandeep is asking, do NRIs need to disclose their foreign income in ITR return mandatorily?
So there is no mandatory component. As I told you, what kind of advantage you have to declare it. So the first advantage is that income is tax-free. So what is tax-free? You should declare in your income tax return. There is no mandate as such. So you should declare it. What kind of advantage you will get? You are showing it to income tax department that you are earning an exempt income. So whenever you come to India, you buy anything to particular, that money. So you are not being asked any question. So you have a detailed source of income described in your income tax return. If you'll ask me, it is mandatory, I'll say it is not mandatory, it is optional, and it is advisable to declare it.
Okay, so there's a common question, like there are 3 questions which is really common. So they're asking that can NRIs apply for GST registration and do business as a proprietor?
Yes, you can apply GST. There is no restriction that you cannot apply for GST. You can apply for GST. You can do business in India as an NRI. There is no problem.
And again, a similar question on the same line: can an NRI get GST registration in India for renting commercial property?
So first of all, okay. So on GST, if it is the second query, so I would like to clear one thing, GST is on the basis of trading and servicing in India. So if you are holding any commercial property in India, which is having a more than 20 lakh rupees of rent, you have an obligation to take GST. There is no, the optional thing. You have to do it. Being as an NRI or being as a RI, if you are doing any business, any trade, any service which has a defined limit, let's say I have told you 20 lakh rupees, तो आपको जीएसटी नंबर लेना ही है, आपको कंप्लाइंस करनी ही है. जीएसटी नंबर लेने के बाद आपको जो कंप्लाइंस करने हैं वो कंप्लाइंस नॉर्मल रेजिडेंट की तरह ही होंगे.
Okay. So Subin is asking, can a person can have both NRO and NRE account?
Yes, you should have NRO and NRE both account, because any single account will not serve the purpose. NRO account is for Indian source of money. जो पैसा आपका इंडियन सोर्स से क्रिएट हुआ है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, आपने कोई इंडिया में प्रॉपर्टी सेल किया है, आपने इंडिया में गोल्ड सेल किया है, आपने इंडिया में शेयर सेल किए हैं, आपने इंडिया में रेंटल इनकम आ रहा है, या आप जाने इंडिया छोड़ने से पहले जो आपने इंडिया में सैलरी के तौर पे जो पैसा अर्न किया है, उस सारा का सारा पैसा एनआरओ अकाउंट के थ्रू रूट होता है. NRE account is to help you to maintain, to manage your foreign account से NRE account में जो ट्रांसफर है और NRE account से जो नए fresh investment आपको करने हैं along with NRE status, that will help you, because whatever money you are earning outside India, if you are sending it through NRE account in India and you are doing any investment, so repatriation is very easy. The same thing is not possible from NRO account.
Okay. So Rohit is asking, how is foreign income from salary declared in ITR for NRIs?
So there is a section called exempt income section where you can declare, this, for example, India के अंदर life insurance से जो maturities आती है, that is tax free. So there is a section 1010D. तो वहां जाके आप declare करते हैं. वैसे income tax return के अंदर there is a section of any other exempt income section. There you can go and you can declare your exempt income.
Okay. And Mr. Brendan is asking, which account to use for mutual fund investments?
NRE account is advisable if you are earning outside India, but sometimes NRIs have a source of income in India, like rental income in India, और आप उस rental income को invest करना चाहते हैं, then you can use NRO account as well.
Okay. And a question from Mr. Ajay Vaswani, what are the benefits available to NRIs from DTAA India and UAE?
So DTAA agreement with UAE, there is a special tax rates for interest, for dividends, for royalties. So that is there. And because UAE is tax-free country, there is no taxation as such. तो आपको इंडिया डबल टैक्सेशन हो नहीं रहा है टेक्निकली. सो आपको कुछ क्रेडिट इधर से उधर नहीं जाएगा, बट जो स्पेशल रेट्स है, दैट बेनिफिट यू आर गेटिंग इट. सो फॉर एग्जांपल, इफ यू आर हैविंग एनी रॉयल्टी इनकम, from India you are getting any royalty income, or you are NRI, or you are NRI in UAE. So UAE and India का जो DTAA agreement है, वहाँ पे royalty के लिए एक special rates defined है DTAA में. That rates you are being charged for taxation despite normal slab rate. So that is the advantage of the DTAA with UAE or with any other country. So there are two advantages of DTAA. One, डबल टैक्सेशन कहीं पे हो रहा है तो आपस में क्रेडिट सेट ऑफ हो जाएगी दो कंट्री के बीच में. सेकंड, देयर इज अ स्पेशल रेट्स, सो यू आर अलाउड टू चूज विच रेट, नॉर्मल इनकम टैक्स रेट और DTAA रेट. आपको जो बेनिफिट हो रहा है वो रेट आप चूज कर सकते हैं, एंड यू कैन बी चार्ज्ड टैक्स.
Okay. And Mr. Bhavik wants to ask, for RNOR status, foreign deposits can remain tax-free for 2 years. Does it include NRE deposits as well?
Yes, it includes NRE deposit as well, because NRE account is being funded from the foreign account itself.
Okay. Again, a very common question from 3 to 4 audiences. Can NRI transfer funds to a private limited company in India as an investment? If yes, what's the procedure?
Yes. So being as an NRI, it is a very interesting question. So you have heard in paper FDA, foreign direct investment. So technically, if you are investing through NRE account, to any Indian company, so that investment is equivalent to FDA. But FEMA में इसमें compliance wise आपको काफी easy दे रखा है, norms दे रखा है. तो normal आपके banking transaction से आपका investment हो जाता है. ठीक है। बट सेम इन्वेस्टमेंट अगर आप आपके फॉरेन अकाउंट से एक इंडियन कंपनी में करते हैं, तो आपको फेमा के रूट के थ्रू बहुत सारी कंप्लाइंस करनी होती है, जो मतलब मैं यहाँ बताऊंगा तो काफी कॉम्प्लिकेशंस हो जाएगा, बट यू कैन रीच आउट टू एनी चार्टेड अकाउंटेंट, दे कैन हेल्प यू कि फॉरेन डायरेक्ट इन्वेस्टमेंट से प्राइवेट लिमिटेड में फंड कैसे आता है, एनआरई अकाउंट से प्राइवेट लिमिटेड में फंड कैसे आता है। बट टू आंसर योर क्वेश्चन, yes, it is allowed from NRE account. You can invest in any private limited company in India.
Okay, so Priyanka is asking that she's still confused that whether being an NRI, can she still maintain a savings account in India?
So being as a NRI, it is not. So being as a NRI, it is not advised to maintain normal saving account. Being as a NRI, it is advised to maintain NRO account, which is equivalent to your normal saving account. So normal saving account और NRO account में कोई difference नहीं है. But because you are NRI, इसके लिए आपको सेविंग अकाउंट को कन्वर्ट करना है एनआरओ अकाउंट में, क्योंकि आप सेविंग अकाउंट और एनआरई अकाउंट साथ में होल्ड नहीं कर सकते हो। आप एनआरओ अकाउंट और एनआरई अकाउंट साथ में होल्ड कर सकते हो एक बैंक में। सो टू गेट एनआरई अकाउंट, आपको पहले नॉर्मल सेविंग अकाउंट को कन्वर्ट करना पड़ेगा एनआरओ अकाउंट में, एंड देन यू कैन ओपन वन सेपरेट अकाउंट, दैट इज एनआरई अकाउंट। आई होप नाउ इट इज क्लियर।
Yes. And Ms. Jostna wants to ask whether for every transfer there is a need for submission of Form 15C, A and CB.
Correct. So not for every transaction, income tax is made very simple and very clear. They have defined part A, B, C, D. चार पार्ट में उन्होंने डिफाइन किया है। They have defined some pre-determined, purpose that is covered under part D. अगर उस पर्पस में अगर आप फॉल हो रहे हो तो आपको कुछ भी नहीं देना है, बैंक में जाके आपको सिर्फ फॉर्म A2 साइन करके देना है। इट इज वेरी सिंपली आपका फंड ट्रांसफर हो जाएगा। इफ इट इज फॉलिंग अंडर पार्ट ए, जहाँ पे आप पूरे साल भर में 5 लाख से ज्यादा पैसा ट्रांसफर नहीं कर रहे हो, तब भी आपको नॉर्मल एक 15 CA बैंक को देना है, आपका काम हो जाएगा। पार्ट बी और पार्ट सी, यहाँ पे आपको 15 CB, जो चार्टेड अकाउंटेंट का सर्टिफिकेट होता है, जो ये चेक करता है कि आपका सोर्स ऑफ इनकम क्या है, उस पर टीडीएस बराबर से कंप्लायंस हुआ है कि नहीं हुआ है, दैट एवरीथिंग कैन बी चेक बाय, हैज टू बी चेक बाय चार्टेड अकाउंटेंट। वो वेरीफाइड होता है 15 CB में। ये एडिशनल डॉक्यूमेंट पार्ट बी और पार्ट सी वाले ट्रांजेक्शन में बैंक को देना पड़ता है। अदरवाइज अगर पार्ट डी और पार्ट ए में फॉल हो रहे हो, पार्ट ए में 5 लाख रुपए तक का लिमिट है, पूरे साल भर में आपको कोई डॉक्यूमेंट एक्स्ट्रा नहीं दे रहा है। पार्ट डी में तो आपको कुछ भी नहीं दे रहा है, आपको बैंक में जाके खाली फॉर्म A2 साइन करके देना और आपका रेमिटेंस हो जाएगा।
Okay. Just few more questions, sir. So someone is asking, while applying for GST registration of NRIs as proprietor, there is no specific option as NRI to apply. Then do we need to apply as resident?
Yes, so again, income tax मैंने आपको बताया, income tax is totally different for the NRI definition. सेम बैंकिंग में NRI डेफिनेशन अलग है, सेम जीएसटी में NRI की जो डेफिनेशन है वो टोटली डिफरेंट है। सो यहाँ पे आप इनकम टैक्स के डेफिनेशन से बिल्कुल भी कंफ्यूज मत होना। आप नॉर्मल रेजिडेंट अप्लाई करके भी जीएसटी नंबर लोगे तो भी आपको उसकी कंप्लाइंस में कोई डिफरेंस नहीं आने वाला है। यू आर बीइंग चार्ज जीएसटी, यू हैव टू कलेक्ट जीएसटी एज पर नॉर्मल प्रोसेस, बिकॉज जीएसटी इज eligible where and when it is involved Indian services, Indian trade, Indian things. So GST mechanism is completely different from the income tax angle. So you can apply GST and you can do normal things like normal resident is doing. In your income tax, when you are filing, you have to see you are resident or non-resident. So that business can become NRI or non-NRI, but GST will not have any impact.
Sure. And another interesting question from Mr. Bhavik. On returning back to India for good, we'll have to convert NRE account to resident. So through having RNOR status, bank will deduct TDS on deposits, right? So he's asking this. Can we claim TDS back when filing ITR return?
So first of all, you need to understand if you are coming back to India, तो आपको 2 साल का विंडो मैंने बताया था है। Whatever you fund you are holding in NRE account for 2 years, you are holding RNOR status, and उस पे सेम सारे बेनिफिट एनआरआई वाले आपको अप्लाई होंगे। पोस्ट 2 years आपको वो या तो कन्वर्ट कर लेना है नॉर्मल सेविंग अकाउंट के अंदर, तो आपका टैक्सेशन नॉर्मल रेजिडेंट की तरह होगा, बिकॉज नाउ यू आर नॉट होल्डिंग, आफ्टर 2 years यू आर नॉट होल्डिंग एनआरआई स्टेटस, राइट। सो आपकी जितनी भी एफडीज है, चाहे वो फॉरेन अकाउंट में रखी थी, चाहे वो एनआरई अकाउंट में रखी थी, आपको उसको सबको कन्वर्ट करना है नॉर्मल एफडीज के अंदर, एंड इट इज बीइंग चार्ज नॉर्मल टैक्स रेट। जब आप नॉर्मल रेजिडेंट हो जाएंगे तो आपका जो टैक्सेशन है वो टैक्सेशन 10% बैंक आपका डिडक्ट करेगा टीडीएस एनआरई अकाउंट के नॉर्मल अकाउंट के ऊपर. बट आपकी जो नॉर्मल स्लैब है उस साल की, उसके हिसाब से आपका टैक्सेशन डिफाइन होगा. सो जस्ट टू गिव यू आंसर इज, when you become RNOR, when you return to India being as a NRI, for 2 years you have a window to plan your the things as per the resident things. Post 2 years, when you become normal resident, whatever TDS bank is deducting, that is a kind of advance tax. So आपका actual taxation will be at the end of filing of return. You have to see कि आप कौन सी स्लैब में आ रहे हैं. हो सकता है आपकी टोटल इनकम है जो नॉर्मल स्लैब से कम हो जाए, जैसे अभी इंडिया में अप टू 7 लाख देयर इज नो टैक्सेशन. सो इन दैट केस यस, वॉट एवर टीडीएस बैंक हैज डिडक्टेड आप पूरा पूरा रिफंड क्लेम कर सकते हैं. बट अगर आपकी इंडिया में इनकम उस वक्त बहुत ज्यादा है तो वॉट एवर टीडीएस बैंक हैज डिडक्टेड वो आप एज ए डिडक्शन यूज कर सकते हो, वो आप एज ए एडवांस टैक्स यूज कर सकते हो, और बैलेंस टैक्स आपको उस हिसाब से टेक केयर करना. सो वॉट एवर बैंक विल डिडक्ट एज ए टीडीएस, यस यू कैन यूटिलाइज इट एज ए एडवांस टैक्स. अगर आपका कुछ भी टैक्स नहीं बन रहा है तो रिफंड कर लेना, और अगर कुछ टैक्स बन रहा है तो वो एडजस्ट हो जाए.
Sure. A last question for you, sir. So, Ms. Priyanka is asking, if my tenant in India sends me rupees 48,000 as rent, does he still need to deposit 30% TDS?
Can you come again? Like one is resident and one is non-resident, right?
Yeah. So, the landlady is a NRI and the tenant is resident.
So if tenant is resident and tenant is paying any single amount to non-resident, they have to deduct TDS at the rate of 30%.
Okay.
So in that case, that landlady can go to the income tax and ask for the lower deduction as per their finances. अगर उनकी इनकम के हिसाब से वो 30% रिड्यूस हो सकता है टैक्स, so income tax officer will issue one letter. On the basis of that letter, that resident tenant will reduce the tax TDS as per that letter.
Okay, sir, a very interesting question. Again, I'll take it as the last one today.
No.
Do we need to appoint any POA holder in India for handling NRE and NRO accounts?
So POA is something power of attorney. So power of attorney is nothing to do with whatever taxation which we have discussed. It is just a executor which you are appointing in India. So for example, you would like to buy a property in India, right? So being as an NRI, you are allowed to buy a property in India. But what you need to do, you can do the payment through NRE account or your from foreign account. That is fine. But to register it to the registrar, you have to be there in India, right? So that execution, if you would like to avoid to come in India, you can appoint one POA, and that POA can go and do all the formalities on behalf of you. So that POA is just an executor. It has nothing to do with the compliance and the process which we have discussed so far.
Sure.
Yes, you can appoint POA just to make it smooth execution. If you don't want to move it to India for that execution, so you can appoint a POA, but it is not a mandatory thing.
Okay. So, sir, I guess we have answered to all of the major queries that were there in the Q&A box. And a small request to everyone. So you can see a QR code on the screen. So if you need one-to-one personalized advice on your taxation or investments from our expert wealth advisors and tax consultants, you can just scan this QR code and book a free one-to-one meeting with our financial experts. So thank you everyone for being there. We hope to see you in our upcoming webinars. Thank you so much, sir, for addressing to all the queries.
I'm so sorry, and thanks for bear with me my bad throat. I have a cold and cough, but I try to manage it. But thank you so much for bear me with my bad voice.
Yes, and all the attendees will get the recording of the session on their mail. Thank you once again for being present.
Thank you so much. Bye.